Open University.
My name is Mr. Pink, and I speak truth to power. I was walking in Power's garden one day, and I could hear the turtle doves mooing, not cooing, but mooing. And I knew that today was the day I must speak truth to power. So I'm going to tell you what I didn't do, because what I did do is classified. What I didn't do was I didn't take the pretty path towards pink. The pretty path towards pink. Because the pretty path towards pink is actually a route to the pond with the pirates and the sharks, the alarm clocks, and death. What I did do was I tiptoed through the tulips. The tulips were red and sometimes blue. And I said to myself, this is the thing to do. And I went up to Mr. Green and I said, Mr. Green, I want you to take me on as your apprentice. And he said, sweeping chimneys, 2 years, working through all the back routes of this land, learning the tips of chimney sweeps. The tips, not the financial tips, I mean the knowledge that chimney tweeps. Tweeps, we call them tweeps in the trade. The chimney tweeps acquire while treading the dusty back groves. Not the back roads, the back groves, because they don't take the roads. The roads are not for the likes of sweeps. They take the dusty back groves, the dusty back groves, the dusty back, and so on. And what you might learn from those tweeps, who are actually twerps, is you have to learn 3 essential truths. The truths of the tweeps. These truths are, first of all, that a boat that is sinking can never sink. And the reason for that is that it is already sinking. It will not sink if it is already sinking. And this is a great truth for Brexit Britain. People say that Britain, when it Brexits, will Brexit. But Britain will never Brexit, because it will never Brexit. And the second truth is that it takes half as long to get twice as far each time you double 2 by 3. Double 2 by 3 and it'll take twice as long to get 3 times as far, and so on and so on. And this is the mathematics of regression. The mathematics of regression. What I would point out is that the third law is that there is no law, and therefore laws 1 and 2 are completely irrelevant. This is the logic and the knowledge of the tweep, who is also a twerp. Do you know the origins, the etymological derivation of the word twerp? The word twerp comes from an Old English word, actually a verb, twerpen. Twerpen, actually it was originates from Denmark, and it refers to the activity of belittling someone who is better than you. So actually it's very honourable to be a twerp, because what it means is that people want to belittle you, but you're actually far above them. I also want to say that it's very important to get on in life, not just as a twerp, to wear orange, pink, various shades of beige, caramel. These colours will advance you, even if nobody else follows you. If you're a man, for instance, and it's considered effeminate to wear pink gloves and carry a fan, a Marimekko fan at that, you will nevertheless take a parallel path. You will enter the land of Didn. The land of Didn is a very interesting place, because it's where everything that should have happened did. But because in our world those things didn't happen, we call that land didn't. The people who enter into didn't call it did, because for them everything that should have happened did happen. It's a kind of utopia. So for instance, the Paris Climate Change Treaty was ratified by every country in the world and didn't. Whereas the people in did are living in a perfectly well-regulated climate. And they have controlled, it won't be this 2-degree temperature rise which everyone else is being subjected to, causing mass flooding and extermination of people. And didn't, none of that happened. It didn't happen. So Didn is a great place to go, because it's not a place where nothing happens, it's a place where everything that happens is good and is should. A should thing is a thing that happens only in didn't. Didn't is a kind of small village, but it has all the benefits and advantages of a big city at the same time. So I would recommend you go there dressed as a bee. This is actually a kind of bee. As you know, bees are going extinct in the United States, along with lives which are not ended by murder. This is a colour outfit which I would recommend you to disguise yourself as a bee because nobody will recognise you as a bee. You see, it's a perfect bee disguise. If you actually do have this striped, black and white striped bee look, just wear this and nobody will see it. Perhaps my flesh underneath is black and white stripe or black and yellow striped. Of course, the idea we have as a bee is an idea we've got from Disney movies, the back of cereal packets. Since they don't exist anymore in the United States, Americans particularly have no idea of what a bee is or what a bee looks like. So we could actually inform them, especially if Donald Trump agrees with them. Americans would believe that bees are, for instance, small armadillo-shaped animals which live in Venice at the time of Casanova and wear long pointed blue shoes, scarves which are sky blue, and kind of Hessian or crepe combination jacket with a rough collar. And every American can eventually be led to believe this if it's promulgated frequently enough on Fox News, which of course will have to be renamed Bee News because bees will be really the centre of everyone's interest and attention. These things go in fashions, you know. It's really all about what you can put into fashion. How do you put things into fashion? You simply talk about them enough and to the right important people to get them in fashion. This Marimekko pattern, for instance, can be seen all over Japan. You can see it especially in the background of the porn videos that many respectable Japanese are forced to make now. They're forced to turn on their webcams and dance for coins. And in the background, you'll see that they are people of refinement and taste because they use these fans. They have them decorating their bookshelves, which don't contain any books, because Dentsu, the great advertising corporation here, has no interest in selling people books, no interest in people having any books or reading any books ever again. So what they do is they occasionally package a book as a small gift with it gets shrink wrapped with a magazine. Or if you go to your local 100 yen store, your sort of dime store, you might get a book as a free gift with if you're buying a pair of nail clippers, for instance. So books really, as you can see, have this very marginal status, but Marimekko fans don't. They have a very central status. And everybody here is webcamming. I'm doing it right now, as you can see. I'm doing a sort of pornography which is appealing to those who like the Highland fling to be performed by a rabid homosexual, or at least somebody posing as a rabid homosexual. This is what I'm doing. A Highland fling as danced by the most effeminate person in the world. And of course, homosexuals don't like effeminate people. They're actually the last people to want an effeminate person, especially an effeminate man, because, of course, if you're into men, you're into men. You want a manly man. And a manly man doesn't wear this sort of costume, so forget it. I'm a heterosexual. It's very obvious. I'm a heterosexual. I'm trying to appeal to other heterosexuals, men and women. All I want is your advertising revenue. I've monetized this video. Every time you click on it, I get approximately enough to buy a Marimekko fan, second-hand one, obviously, at the flea market, possibly given away free on a blanket. But everything that I appreciate in life, as you have come to learn from watching these videos, is given away free on a blanket. As you know, I've spent half of my life scouring the streets for blankets. I don't even care anymore if there's anything on the blanket. All I want to see is some destitute old person crouching by the side of a public highway with a blanket, not wrapped around their shoulders, not a shawl, a blanket which is spread out in front of them saying, if I had any worldly goods, they would be here, they would be yours for a very reasonable sum. Thank you for watching.
Open University.